fundamental syllabus, we're going to look at side control top, specifically a couple of attacks from there. So we're going to start with the on her back. I'm going to start with the top side control here. So just a quick breakdown on normal side control. Again, it is a dominant position, so we need to make sure our pressure is working for us. So the standard thing, probably the most important thing, I'd say early on, is to get the head control. So try and bring one hand deep underneath here, preferably into the armpit on the other side. But if you can't reach there, around here is fine, or even close to the neck. But don't start all the way back here, then your shoulder can't really connect to their face and there's just too much space overall. So deep as you can, the better. You're almost going to sort of shoulder barge them in the face. Here. Okay? Anyway, at the same time, my other hand generally is going to be working to be underneath this, hooking underneath it in an underhook, or an underhook if we're being grammatically correct, and we're going to bring it underneath here. So my hands will come together, and I will place my shoulder into her face as my left elbow pulls tight. Although you can't see it fully, according to the angle you can, my left knee is usually going to be directly connected to her hip to make it hard for her to replace her guard. If I leave this leg out, there's just too much space for things like this to start messing everything up. So, and we start, and one grip around the head, one grip under the armpit, hands go together, chest on chest, hips go down, so my right leg will straighten, because that's how I get my hips down, but my left knee will stay close to the side here. Okay, so from here we have a couple of things that we can look at. Basically, what we do is going to be determined a little bit by what this hand is doing. The standard position is going to be across the neck here. It's the correct framing position for her. And so we're going to go from here into the Americana, standard, super sort of direct, easy fundamental attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my pressure on the head for a little bit. My left hand is going to let go. I'm going to grab on the top of the shoulder here, and I'm going to start to drive my chest forwards whilst keeping this elbow pulled in tight. I don't want to go too far away here. I want to keep this here, so I want her body to stay with me, but as I start pushing forwards, I want her hand and her elbow to move away from me. Again, if I'm loose here, then when I turn, it's hard to really isolate that specific thing. I want this to stay here, and then to start hitting out. Okay, so yeah, my hand is hooking around it. As I start to push on here, I will usually turn my hips a little bit here, and then my hand here will come out. I'm going to be looking for her wrist. I'm going to rotate my hand around so my thumb becomes a primary move. I don't want to try and pull away here. I want to get the thumb inside and then tuck the elbow down. I may drop my elbow onto her face. That's just bonus. Okay, so we are set up here and here. This is fine. So we start to push forward a little bit. So I'm basically pulling this down, shrugging my shoulder to get her elbow away and to start to rotate her shoulder a little bit here. I'm going to turn my hips a bit. My thumb comes in. As my thumb comes in, my elbow drops around and we get ourselves down to here. From here now, I'm going to start to push with my body weight and my elbow and everything across on this side and drive this to the floor here. Okay. Sometimes you can use both hands, but this is sort of the best balance of control and aggression, I think. And so I'm going to force this to the ground. As it hits the ground, my fingers will wrap over it, my elbow will hit the floor, and I will have this separation. So I want to have basically a straight line from my hand to her head, but if she wants to bring the hand forwards or backwards, it stays kind of set here. This or this is much harder to maintain that control. So I'll just drop it down and just make kind of a square here. So we have the wrist pin. I want to turn my knuckles down so that they are very strong against extension. If I push with the heel of my palm here, she can straighten it away. It's more likely I'll lose control of it. So I want it really like I'm sort of reverse throttling a motorcycle here, and my elbow stays tight to the head. Once we have this in place, my other hand that was kind of here is going to go underneath. I'm going to grab hold of her wrist, my forearm, with my hand here. And I've got to say, if I need to, I can lay my head on it for control. That's not really essential. Once we have that here, we have some power in the attack by just lifting. What we're looking to do here for the Americana is I want to start to bring her elbow down towards her hip here. Okay, because again, the further this goes down towards the body, the less towards the hip, the less flexible the shoulder is, and overall, the stronger the lock will feel. So I have this. I don't want to go up to here and just crank it. My priority is bring it down at least so the hand is in line with the shoulder. Lower is obviously quite nice, but here is this shoulder has a lot of flexibility to it. Unless the person is carrying an injury or just naturally inflexible, this doesn't do all that much. So my first move is to slide down here, hand roughly in line with the shoulder, and then I will push the hand to the floor and lift the elbow up before they finish. There. Okay. I don't want to go too crazy with it. I guess we'll get more, but I still need to focus on this drag and lift, rather than again how high you can get this to go. Also, try not to get the hand coming up. Some guys will get up here and start doing this. This can work, but again, it makes her shoulder very strong. She can rotate, she can turn, and it's only going to work really if the person's either giving up or you're way, way stronger than them. So, yeah, so we'll set back up here. So normal control, again we have head control, solid pressure, knee on hip, other leg down. This hand comes down to hook the shoulder here, and I start to push my shoulder and chest forward. I turn my hips a little bit. My left knee is still tight to the hip. This comes around, and I start to drop my body. I'm pushing with my whole body here, my right hip, not just my hand. Everything goes down, elbow hits the floor, knuckles roll forwards, and we get our separation. This hand might still be under here the whole time, or it may have disappeared during the process. In which case we just put it back on. This comes through, grab here, head stays on for control usually, and just keep me tight. Slide down a little bit, lift the elbow, and that is the Americana from Side Control.